What's happening there, guys, and welcome back to NBA Reloaded. Basketball is a tough and fierce sport which can sometimes get into a lot of heated exchange of dialogues, but that doesn't mean we never find moments of hilarity every once in a while. In fact, there were so many instances when things got hilarious and people were left in fits of laughter. In today's video, out of those countless moments, we'll be listing 15 NBA funny moments, so let's get started right away. Number 15, Shaquille O'Neal's wife joke. Shaquille O'Neal is undoubtedly the most dominant personality in the world of NBA, and it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that he's also the most hilarious big man out there. With his great sense of humor, he's been often called one of the funniest sportsmen to have ever stepped into the sporting world. There were so many instances where you find this big man being very goofy. A good one is when he responded in a hilarious way to a reporter's question during his press conference. During that time, the reporter asked him a very tricky question, to which he responded, "Your wife." We can't decide what was funnier, the joke itself which created the funny moment, or Shaq's funny reaction while acknowledging his own wit. In both ways, it was pure gold.
Right in the chest area, would you be willing to suck the venom out to win the title?
No, but I will with your wife.
Number 14, Joakim Noah's time in Cleveland. During an interview, the former professional basketball player Joakim Noah apparently summed up his whole life while bringing up the topic of his time in Cleveland. "My whole life I've been booed," is what the player said. He continued talking about how much he hated his time in Cleveland and Cleveland itself. However, things got hilarious when he realized that there were so many fans of Cleveland sitting among the audience and immediately took his hatred back. Although this nonchalant statement wasn't picked by many people well, he did have a point. Who even likes Cleveland?
I mean, I never heard anybody say, "I'm going to Cleveland on vacation." I mean, what's so good about Cleveland?
Number 13, Allen Iverson's dislike for practice. As you all know, Allen Iverson is a highly competitive player, that too against the other big player enemies despite being an undersized player. He's idolized by so many emerging talents because he's one of the best scorers in the history of the NBA. But do you know that this player doesn't like to practice and has expressed his frustration during one of his press conferences like a child ranting? You definitely have to check out this video, which has been parodied by so many people. The highlight of the conference was definitely his exclamation at the end, "How the hell can I make my teammates better by practicing?"
We talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Number 12, Charles Barkley's great wit. Charles Barkley is definitely the most fun dude in the NBA. His witty quotes are still as fresh as when they were first uttered. Everyone knows about his brilliant witty interaction with his fans and his charisma on the field, so it's almost impossible not to adore him. One of his most hilarious interactions was during a playoff against Angola when he said these quotes, "I don't know anything about Angola, but Angola's in trouble." And after an argument, as they received their win against Angola, he said, "Somebody hits me, I'm going to hit him back, even if it does look like he hasn't eaten in a couple of weeks. I thought he was going to pull a spear on me." We can say this was offensively hilarious. Even though Barkley has become a commentator, he still carries the same humor around with him. What's better than that? A job where you can comfortably sit back, talk, and crack jokes at the same time.
I don't know anything about Angola, but Angola's in trouble.
Number 11, more of Shaq's cracks. It's almost impossible to talk about just one funny moment of the big man Shaq, given that he's considered the most dominant and hilarious personality of the sporting world. When it comes to hilarity, he's often compared with Charles Barkley, but according to YouTube, Shaq gets the nod. Perhaps because Shaq started recognition in the internet age, but also, he's always so ready and pumped up to do something absolutely silly when he spots a camera. For instance, the time he began his gaudy dance in a way of celebrating the end of his season. So it's a tie between two athletes, Shaq and Barkley. Shaq wins for his hilariously ridiculous acts in front of the camera, and Barkley wins for his unadulterated witty quotes. Number 10, PJ Tucker's viral memes. Because of his brilliant performance over the time period of 9 years in the NBA, PJ Tucker has come to be known as a bulldog the athlete often referred to as the Iron Man of his team. Given that the player has a shorter height than every starting center in the league, he's been edited on the internet in the most creative ways possible just so he could measure up to the others. This one time, his picture was edited by a fan in which he was standing on the court with the help of stills just to add a few inches to his height. The player was even amused by this edit and shared it on his social media platform. It was liked by other big names, including Matt Barnes, Kyle O'Quinn, Vince Young, and Jermaine O'Neal. The post was incredibly circulated that it received more than 190,000 likes. Number 9. James Harden hitting himself in the face. During the 2020 playoff between Milwaukee Bucks and the Houston Rockets, Russell Westbrook, along with James Harden, shot the majority of the team's goals, and during one attempt to hit the net during the closing seconds, he did something terrible out of sheer frustration. He accidentally hit himself in the face with a hard ball, and Josh Hart, another player standing right next to him, was completely shocked. Since it's not like you see someone every day slam a huge ball in their own face, it ended up going viral. Even more funny than the act was Hart's absolutely priceless reaction. His confused face and state of mind became one of the finest meme-worthy contents of that season. After the game, when Harden was asked how much that ball hurt him, he used this spot and responded, "I guess that's one benefit of having a beard like Harden. It provides a lot of cushion." Despite this hit, the player performed incredibly with scoring 29 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists in the match.
Josh Hart has to worry about the contact. Hart just lost the bat. Oh, and then put it into his own chin.
Number 8. Klay Thompson being unintentionally hilarious. The greatest shooter in the history of the NBA, Klay Thompson, is known for his unintentional funny nature. This one time during a post-match interview after a win against the Kings, he gave his iconic interview, which made absolutely 0 sense. Apparently, the player was tongue-tied, which at the same time made a lot of sense because we all relate to that, don't we? The moment someone asks us something and we all of a sudden forget our own name. Moreover, during another interview, the player showed up wearing a huge coat and was completely unamused with all the reporters. Thompson's expressions during this conference were turned into many relatable memes with big mood written all over his pics.
I might go see the swamps or something, try and catch an alligator. I don't know.
Number 7. Thompson misreads the score box. Since we've started talking about Klay Thompson, you all better expect a marathon of all of his funny moments. If you don't remember this time when Klay Thompson read the box score wrong, then do you even remember? And what's even funnier is how he keeps on moving with the same attitude. Number 6. Signing a toaster. The next thing on the list of funny things that Klay Thompson did was to sign a toaster. But what was more hilarious than signing the toaster was his facial expression, which definitely spelled out, why in the world would you bring that out of all the things? Nonetheless, he signed the toaster anyway. Number 5. Klay forgets his own coach. The most hilarious Klay incident is definitely when he forgot the name of his own coach, Steph Curry, who was considered one of the most skilled shooters of all time. When he was asked what he did during his shooting slump, he said he listens to seniors like Reggie Miller, Larry Bird, and Ray Allen, and then he realized that his own coach is a brilliant one. Oops.
Oh, could you see my confusion?
Number 4. Amar'e Stoudemire's frustration. Amar'e Stoudemire's 2012 NBA season wasn't a pleasant one because of his injuries, lack of energy, and motivation. During his 2012 playoff, the player took out his frustration on a fire extinguisher and punched it so forcefully that he ended up getting stitches. The footage circulated pretty much summed up the player's disappointment that season. Even though this was a gruesome injury, the heated moment actually looked quite hilarious in the video.
That they'll have to play it without him.
I can't comment on that. We just know right now that he has a laceration.
Number 3. Mitch Kupchak's face after elimination. The general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers, Mitch Kupchak, wasn't very amused after his team's loss in 2012. Apparently, he could do nothing except for standing there in his sadness, and the camera zoomed it dramatically into his face, and the commentary over his expression only enhanced the hilarity of the situation. Number 2. Stephen A. Smith's problems with Thiago Splitter. The sports commentator Stephen A. Smith definitely has some problems with the Brazilian football player Thiago Splitter. Apparently, he doesn't have problems with him as a player. It's because of the foreign name. The way he delivers his name, Thiago Splitter, actually cracks everyone up.
Picks, okay?
Hey, he sets a mean pick.
Listen to me, man.
Number 1, Zion taking a nap. Watching Pistons versus Pelicans, Zion was caught taking a nap, but we can't really blame him, can we? We too would be getting sleepy just by thinking that. That's it for today, guys. Like and subscribe, and until next time, take care and goodbye.